How are you guys feeling tonight? Everybody's so quiet.
We're devastated.
Feeling
That's
good.
why.
How dare you ask that question?
It's such a very good emotions. We're devastated. We're feeling good.
It's a spectrum, you know?
Right.
It is, in fact, a spectrum. Deb, would you like to give the recap tonight?
Sure. I guess I volunteered myself. Yep, sure. Last week on our Far Horizon game, we woke up because Bren had a dream that Star was calling for our assistance. And so we did some preparations. We woke up Phelan because that was a necessity apparently, and had the most awkward interaction I've ever had on stream. What else did we do? The Fab Five wandered into the Siltwood to try and find Star and figure out what the trouble was. We did find Star. There was some confusion about whether or not Star had actually called for us, but had been looking for help. We ended up finding the Nostromo, the 4-5 that had come into the Siltwood, got into a fight. It was going great for a while until it wasn't. And Sisk died, which I don't know how to process that. Also, one guy got away, 80, and Mira tried to go after him, but he turned invisible and started running. So here we are. Sisk is dead. We are left behind, and then some sort of green glow appeared from the pond, the deep pond that we kept having to go around. And God only knows what that is. So I think that completes my recap.
That felt like that moment to where your parent comes in, sees the chaos, and went, "What happened?" Okay, so listen.
That was the vibe I was going for.
Glad you were able to nail the vibe that you wanted. Why is my camera being tonight? Anyway, thank you so much for that, Deb. That was a great recap. And yeah, things went crazy. Almost as crazy as Varl B. Gem kicking us off with a hype train tonight with a bunch of gifted subs. I can't even process sometimes, Varl. You are so flippin' amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. I very much hope that you're doing that because of how much love you have for these people and all of our awesome viewers that we've got, because yeah, you're amazing. Before we begin tonight, I would like to ask all of my players to please gather some physical dice. I'm sure you have them within reach.
How much physical dice?
Just a d20 should be all you need. You're going to gather that physical dice and you're going to set it aside because it's going to become important later on, I think.
You think you're real cute,
Everything about this.
Big Beth, I'm feeling the vibe today. Yeah, I love it. You think you're real cute.
And Glassjaw is coming in with a bunch of subs too. Guys, seriously, thank you. Wow, another 10 gifted subs. Gee, crickets, you guys. I mean, so who wants to die next? Because apparently that's how you get gifted subs around here. I'm just kidding. We're not going to go down that path. But we do seriously thank you so much, everyone. We love your support and love. It comes through. And yeah, we appreciate it. So now that all of that is aside, we will pick things back up with 80, making her way through the forest in search of this invisible individual that has managed to elude her. She can still feel them as she moves forward, however. She knows that they're not close, they're not standing next to her, but she knows that they're near. She can feel the tension, she can feel the adrenaline, she can feel the energy that they have right now in trying to get away from 80. And all of a sudden, crossbow bolt flies from the trees and slams into her shoulder. 80 takes 7 points of damage from the crossbow bolt and needs to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
What did I do to you?
You chased after the bad guy.
I did do that. That sounds like me. 12.
12.
12.
The pain rocks 80 at first. The surprise of it, of course, being the first thing that catches her. She isn't sure why she wasn't expecting a crossbow bolt out of nowhere. This individual had used a crossbow from before, and it slams into her shoulder, sends her reeling. She turns and looks from what direction it came from, not really able to spot. She sees some movement in the distance, and then she realizes it. She can't feel anyone. The only emotions that she can feel right at this moment are her own. What is 80 feeling in this moment?
Anger and some fear, but I think immediately upon losing everyone else, I think she just feels really empty, and that makes her even more scared.
The fear amplifies with each breath that she takes as she realizes that also she can't feel the source of her magic. Power within her somehow is being suppressed. She feels the pain of the crossbow bolt in her shoulder, and it seems amplified. Every beat of her heart, there's a pulse in the crossbow bolt wound as well. What does 80 do?
I think she'll immediately turn to go back, because she knows her friends are there, but she can't feel that they're there. Are they there? So she, she'll turn and run back to everybody.
Okay.
Mira
You
was
turn.
right next to her. Do I feel...
Mira was a little bit behind, actually, from before, because 80 had used Misty Step to get ahead. So pretty much as soon as 80 turns back towards to run back to everyone, that's when Mira kind of emerges through the very dense trees around, and the two of you lock eyes. And for the first time in a great long while, 80, you can't feel Mira as you sit there and stare at her.
It's all gone. I can't feel any of you. And I can't, she'll like try to spark something up in her hands.
There's
It's all
a
gone.
numbness to her fingers at the moment.
What do I do?
We'll figure it out.
Mira, what do I do?
We'll figure it out. Let's go back. We'll figure it out. It's okay. Can I still feel 80?
Yes, you still have the twin bond with her, and you can still feel particularly the heightened sense of fear that she has at the moment. As you turn and start to go back, 80 takes one look over her shoulder. She sees some movement through some leaves further away. And she knows within her that this individual has gotten away. They also don't seem to be continuing the fight. That whatever this wound that's been inflicted was meant to ward her off.
Mira would feel anger sort of take over again at that, and then dip back into the fear.
Maybe Bren can figure something out. I don't know. We have to get this arrow out and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to give me an Arcana check, Deb?
$15.
15 is good enough in this particular instance because Mira remembers during the fight getting shot by the same crossbow. And she remembers that pulse that happened that tried to cut her off from her magic as well. She was able to fight it off. 80 does not seem to have been able to do so. But as you two turn to head back to the pond, we will cut back where we find Bren and Violet standing over the gray form of Sisk, who seems to be becoming even more pale as each moment passes. What are the two of you doing?
I think Bren's actually kind of like on his knees next to Sisk, and he's kind of looking down at them. His eyes are scanning, like he's frantically looking for something that he can identify or something that just shouts out to him like, just do this. Just looking for an answer and how to fix this.
Violet be standing beside you, and she'll put a hand on your shoulder.
I don't want to say aggressively, but like he moves his shoulder away from the handhold. He's still really focused on this.
I think she's gone, Bren.
He doesn't say anything, but it's like there's an increase in his breathing. You can even kind of like see on his hands, they're starting to kind of like change the same way that they would with his primal savagery. Like there's a lot of confusion going on in him, and internally things are just popping off. He still doesn't say anything, but he does shoot his head up and he looks in the direction where 80 and Mira went off, and it looks like he's looking for them. Where did the other two go?
I don't know. I think they went off trying to chase someone down.
He calls out for Mira very loudly.
As Bren's voice rings out through the siltwood, it seems to echo doubly loud, almost like an animal roar. And Bren feels some movement at his side. as he sees and looks down to see and feel Star move next to his hip and kind of rest his head upon Bren's bent leg. You look over and you see the green glow from the lake, or the pond rather, getting it ever brighter, slowly, but getting brighter.
Bren shifts his attention to the glow because obviously you're not going to miss that. He does acknowledge Star, but kind of like one of those pet owner relationships where he like just pats them on their head real quick and kind of shoos them away. Not trying to be mean or anything, but he's so preoccupied with what's going on right now. His gaze is shifting between the bright green and whether or not the twins are coming out of the woods yet.
Make
But
a
Violet,
persuasion check for me.
Yeah.
Also, while we have a second here, Varl gave some bits as well, so that everyone has another advantage to take advantage of.
18.
18. Star understands the situation well enough, and as your attention fixes upon the green glow, they leap up into the air and take flight next to Bren. You can feel the air move from the batting of their wings as they take off, and as they're flying up, just as they get high enough to go past Bren's head, they turn invisible and they take off.
Violet, go get those. Go get the twins. Go get them right now, please.
It's okay
Just
if
go.
you-
Wait, just go.
She'll walk away.
Violet disappears into the tree line.
It's being that like now he's by himself, and the only thing here that's worth interacting, well, not worth interacting, but is that green glow. He starts to wade out into the pond or the river.
You take a single step into the water, and you feel a shock, cold, rifle up through your leg. I need for you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
It's a 6.
They'll have 2 advantages.
Advantage.
No, I know. We'll take this first one.
Okay. As the cold shoots up into Bren's leg, you feel yourself go numb instantaneously. Your vision starts to close in on itself. Everything starts becoming hazy. The sounds around you become muffled. You start to feel distant and growing ever more distant with each passing moment. Violet, as you disappear into the trees, what's going through your head?
I'm just going into the tree line, but keeping an eye out for Bren.
Okay.
I'm not actually going to go find the twins.
Okay. You step into the tree line, you turn and look back. You see Bren now standing in the water. Give me an insight check, please.
It's a natural 20.
Okay. You can tell immediately that something is afflicting Bren. Their body is too rigid. Their arms are shut down by their side. One of their hands is in a tightened fist, while the fingers are completely flexed out to their maximum extent, and his head is held ever so slightly chin up, and you can feel the tension in his body.
Yeah, Violet's gonna dash out and try to pull him out.
Violet dashes, closing the distance. Every single step seems to take twice as long as it should. You have your spectral wings out still, and you almost will them to surge you forward even faster. And you grab onto the back of Bren and yank him backwards. Bren, you are shaken out of this experience with the feeling of being pulled off of your feet and slammed to the ground. Violet catches some of your weight as you hit, and you can hear the exhale of breath from her as you basically kind of knock the wind out of Violet for a moment, unable to really catch your own breath. And that's the scene that Mira and 80 see as they emerge from the tree line just moments after Violet. The crossbow bolt still embedded in 80's shoulder.
Miko, do I feel a pull to this?
A pull as in?
Like, do I feel like as though like getting closer to this light or touching it or getting near it, I feel like I'm going to get some type of clarity on what? I don't know, but anything? No?
No. You're a little bit disoriented from that experience, so I'll give you this roll at disadvantage. Otherwise, you wouldn't really be able to do it. Go ahead and give me a nature roll, but it is at disadvantage.
That's still pretty good.
Still pretty good, yeah.
Is it a nature roll? It's 16.
Okay. You know that the Siltwood is a place that is touched by something else. Whether that be something ethereal, something celestial, something fey, some combination of all of the above. You know that there is a connection here to otherworldliness. And there's a part of you that thinks that you just touched that otherworldliness. And you know that that's dangerous. Impossibly dangerous.
Okay. Cool. Bryn tries to refocus, and then he sees the twins, and his eyesight directly goes to Mira, but then he notices the arrow that's embedded in 80. And is it just in there, or is it poking out? Like,
I mean, you can see the shaft of it, sticking forward. It's probably embedded a couple of inches deep.
Oof, it's in there. Okay. Okay. He's gonna look at 80 and he's like, do you need help with that?
You got to pull it out. Please just pull it out.
You can see pretty clearly the panic in 80.
That's what he was waiting for, and he reaches and he pulls it out.
You grab onto the
Ow.
bolt. 80 takes another point of damage from the less than gentle removal of the crossbow bolt. Go ahead and make another Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure. No, I'm going to use one of my advantages, please.
Good call. Oh,
I'm actually going to use another one of my advantages.
Lord.
Balls 18.
okay. The tingling sensation starts to go away, and you slowly start feeling the emotions of everyone else coming back in.
That's a relief.
Bren looks at Miri and he goes, he's legitimately doing this too. That stone, do you have it?
Yeah. And I'll
Can
pull
I have
out.
it, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
And he like grabs it and he just kind of looks at everybody. He's like, I just okay, maybe maybe we can do the same thing that we did with the engine here. Anything would help.
Okay.
Okay. He puts the stone on Sith's chest, and then he takes an opportunity and he focuses himself and tries to put him in his starry form. This is the equivalent to giving her all she's got, Captain, like in this moment for Bren.
Do me a favor and describe Bren's star form for everyone. And also describe how his perspective of the world shifts when he enters his star form.
So when he goes into his star form, there's 3 opportunities for him. He can do the archer, the chalice, or the dragon. And this one, he's going to be focusing on doing the chalice. The difference between him going into the archer form in battle and the chalice is that it's a warm vibration that just like surrounds him. With the archer form, you can kind of see an outline of hazy, starry, glinting that forms into a astral arrow when he does his attack with it. But with this one, it's just like a warm hug, almost like a small humming. And that's what everybody would feel around him. For Bren, things begin to blur and get hazy, and then they just go black with this particular form. And being that this is the form that he would use to help heal, whoever he's focusing on or whatever he's focusing on is all he can see. It's like a dark, starry sky with him, and in this moment just Sisk, as if they were laying in a very shallow pool of space.
As Bren clutches on to the crystal, the light of Orlumus, and takes this form and begins looking at his companions, he notices something in the tree line not far off. He sees a shimmer that is slowly coming to something that he can see more clearly. At first, it's just a distortion, almost like when you're looking at a heat wave in the distance across the desert. And then it becomes more clear with each passing breath. The rest of you see Bren staring in the distance for one moment, and then another moment, and then another. As this vision for Bren starts becoming more clear, what he sees is a familiar sight. A magical place that he found that Star had led him to. However long ago that was. He sees it, not 50 feet away, shimmering as if it's being hidden by some kind of power or magic. Not sure what. He blinks several times and he can still see it, and he realizes that he's been staring and gawking at it and the others are sitting there and staring at him.
I think with no words, Bren stands up and he picks Sisk's bodies up, and walks towards that space.
What do the rest of you do?
Mira follows.
Yeah.
As you turn to follow, we'll say 80 because she has a very good passive perception, can see that the green glow is starting to diminish. Not gone away. Still there, but it's no longer getting brighter.
I think whatever's going on in there is stopping.
Whatever's in there really hurt Bren. So I think probably just leave it alone.
You all follow Bren as he takes these steps, and it isn't until you get to the edge, the entryway of this magical treescape, Bren. Once you step into it, you disappear. And the rest of you are able to see a shimmering where he vanished.
I'm gonna grab both of their hands and try to follow.
You do. As soon as you cross the shimmering barrier and step through, you can see this familiar sight as well. Bren, still carrying Sisk, leads you all forward into the magical space. And all of you feel the familiarity of it. The power of this place where so much had happened so long ago. Not just the bog hag, but the dragon enclave, Mira's interaction with Orlumis, this first place that Violet felt the presence of Imrydale. All of that washes over all of you with every step that Bren takes forward, still carrying Sisk's limp body. You can see quite clearly the small wood, earth, and stone pedestal that the dragons had been centered around when they were doing their thing. As Bren continues to step forward, Star alights on his shoulder, becoming visible once again, his wings tuck in underneath of him, and he's being very careful not to dig his claws in too much to Bren's shoulder.
I think Bren would go to that area where the dragons were protecting before with the new egg, and would gently place Sis down there, and kneels down right next to Sis too, takes Star off of his shoulder and just kind of places Star right in front of him. Again, just gentle pats on the head, and
Star immediately goes over and curls underneath of Sisk's neck and head. Sisk act as a pillow for Sisk's body.
I think he just kind of like sits there and he's like, all right, what, whatever it is that you, he's just saying this into the air, whatever it is that you guys do, or whatever it is that you need from me in order to do this, ask it. But this can't happen.
Several long, pregnant pauses go by. Nothing. However, Violet, you can feel surging within you. You can feel a acidic warmth building up in your chest, making it hard to breathe for a moment. Very familiar sensation the first time you were touched by Vimredal, when you almost passed out, or did. But you managed to hold it together this time. You hear deep resonating voice within you. What is it that you would ask?
Ones need hope. I don't know if I'm strong enough.
Why do you doubt?
Because I let this happen in the first place.
Mistakes are how we learn.
What do I have to do?
You must learn. And there is a crack of power. Not lightning, but an arcane thrum that echoes through this space that all of you see. It catches all of you by surprise, particularly Mira, who can feel the surge of the magic ripple and can see the tinges of it as it cascades in the air around. The rest of you don't see it in that same way, but you feel it. You feel the thrumming power of it, the pulse, the boom, the resonance. Near takes you off of your feet. And as you are staggering from this crack of power, dragon appears in the space near to Sisk. They are about 4 feet tall or so when standing on all four. Their scales are like crystals, silvery, blue-hued. Their wings almost appear like cut diamond. They stand there, regarding all of you. Everyone, please make either Arcana or Perception check using Intelligence. You can't use your passive on this 180. Somebody rolled a natural 19. Who was that? Nice. Can't hear you, Ian.
I was mumbling to myself, but 22.
Somebody got a low number.
I got a 19.
Okay.
Like
I got
total
15.
for 24.
I think everybody except for 80 then picks up on the familiarity of this dragon. They seem to have grown quite a lot in just the weeks since you saw them before. But you are fairly certain that this was the hatchling that you had seen here previously. They appear basically out of nothing after this crack and thumb of power. They regard all of you in turn, particularly focused on Violet. They look down at Sisk. They see Star laying there. Star's head is bowed low. They nod their head towards Star, and they turn and look back towards the lot of you, as if expecting something.
Violet will walk up and just kneel beside Bren and Sisk.
As you kneel, you get the sense that they're waiting for that sign of respect towards them. You bow your head slightly towards them, which they return.
Can you help us? We've lost our friend.
You can tell fairly clearly that there is a sadness to them. They regard each of you in turn. Your friend, they're gone. A spirit being taken away. As all things, when they pass from this realm to the next. You wish to intercede on that. You wish to stop their journey.
Can everybody hear this?
And if everybody can hear it, Brendan, like, he speaks up and he goes, This this is part of their journey. They have they have more to live for.
I am not the one that you must convince of that. It is them. Come with me. And they start heading towards the way you came in, slowly walking methodically. You can see the shimmering of their scales as they move. There's an inherent magic within them, rippling underneath of the scales that you can see through the ever so slight translucence of them. It's particularly eye-catching, I think, for Mira. It's almost like this dragon possesses a light of magic, not too dissimilar from the crystal that she carries that is now resting upon Sisk's dead body. As they continue forward towards that exit, do you follow?
Yeah, Bryn does, for sure.
Violet will follow next to Brendan. She'll try to grab his hand if he's okay with it.
Yeah.
Do the twins do?
Follow right behind.
80 follows.
As you follow this dragon, you turn and look back at Sisk. You see Star still curled up under their head, his head now craning upward to watch you as you go. And Mira, I'll say that you were last in this train of people moving out. You see a vision in your mind of Star hugging another pseudo-dragon, comforting them, almost relaying a sense of, it's okay, I'm here. And you see Star's physical form wrap wings across Sisk's shoulders in a similar way. As you all step out of the magical space, hidden, it seems, from whatever threats that there were before, you find yourselves once again in that same clearing. You can see the dead bodies of the clergy all across the battlefield, the scars of the fight still ever present, and the pond in the center with its green glow still there. The diamond dragon continues forward, and as they continue forward, you can see the green glow getting brighter again. And as you follow behind, it becomes more apparent that this glow is not really the source of the light. It's almost like seeing a reflection of an invisible source of light. And as you get within almost arm's reach of the water, the dragon thrusts its wings out to the side, and a ripple of power cascades away, and the invisible nature of the source of light disappears. It goes to nothingness. And where once was invisible, you now see what appears to be a many-faceted doorway. Several doorways, in fact, in this space above the water. You see motes of light drifting and skewing their forms, twisting and writhing all through each of the doorways. And with a subtle turn of an arcane phrase, the dragon's eyes alight and glow ever more blue, and one of the motes of light stops, slows, and then starts turning towards the lot of you and starts drifting away from the doorways. And as it does, it grows larger. You can see a translucent, slightly disembodied version, Sisk, floating there. Like insight checks from each of you, please.
Miko, would I get to use my advantage on this with my abilities?
No, because you can't feel Sisk.
Right.
I got a 15.
23?
15 total.
Dirty. Oh, sorry. I got dirty 20.
Ren and 80 are able to pick up a bit on this spirit version of Sisk that is there. They're looking around as if they're lost, and they aren't focusing on any of you. You can see them, but they can't see you. They seem confused and a little bit lost. The dragon sits back on its haunches and turns to look at all of you. You will have to convince them to come back. You will have to find a way. My magic will allow them to hear you. You tell them not to go. I would caution you. Make your words count. As each of you will only get one opportunity.
Bryn's he's opening his mouth like he's getting ready to say something, but nothing's coming out. But Violet can feel like his hand squeeze around hers. Like he wants to say something, but it's just not coming out.
It's okay. This is an opportunity to tell Sisk everything you've ever wanted to before we're gone forever. And they might want to come back, they might not want to, but at least you get a chance to say what's in your heart.
When Violet says "say what's in your heart," Brandon like diverts his attention over to the diamond dragon, and he goes, "Can they only hear me if I physically talk?"
Yes.
Okay, that's all right. Hey,
Do you want us to go first?
yeah.
Violet will pat his back and take a step forward.
As Violet steps forward, Dragon almost seems proud in that moment. It's imperceptible to the other three, but to Violet, who is becoming familiar with the emotions dragonkind, she can see it in their eyes and in their form.
Hey, Stisk. This is super weird. It's Violet, if you can tell. I know we didn't get the chance to get to know each other, but I was really looking forward to it. I didn't get the chance to tell you, but the night that we were taking apart my barge and you started singing and dancing and getting everyone excited and happy, really reminded me of when my parents would play music. And I was hoping, you seem to be really good at fixing things. I have this broken lyre that I've found, and I was hoping that maybe you could fix it and maybe teach me how to play. He needs you with us, Sisk. We don't know where we're going. We don't know what to expect, but you do. So please, if you can, could you come back?
The dragon turns its gaze. The rest of you.
Katie will walk up. She will go over, take one of Sisk's hands.
Sisk
in
is still.
both of hers.
Sisk is back in the thing.
Never mind.
You're looking at the ghost of Sisk in
ghost. Yes.
in a gateway portal into the netherworld.
Perfect. Metaphorically, she's grabbing Sisk's hand.
I will say, I'll add to this then, and I'll say that you walk up and you hover your hand in front of Sisk. being ever so careful not to touch the translucent, semi-translucent barrier between you and them.
She just sort of looks at them for a bit, and she'll just say, thank you for letting us see who you truly are. There's so much more I'd like to learn about you, and so much that I want to share. So I'd love for you to come back. I can feel a lot about who people really are, because they try to hide it, and it's just what people do. But I could feel that you're just good. Truly good. And that's rare. I just come back. And she'll step away.
Mira's gonna step forward and look at Sisk's spirit and say, I don't trust new people easily, really ever. But I trust you. And I was really looking forward to seeing the world and learning about it from you. You have so much knowledge that I want, and I want you to guide us. And I still owe you for saving Phelan. I'm not going to stop you. I don't think I can stop you if you want to go, but I hope you don't. Because I want a chance to repay you. And I want a chance to see where you're from with you. And I think Bren needs you. So if you can, we would really like you to come back. And Mira will step away.
Dragon just nods a little bit and turns their gaze to Bren.
Bren's been staring at the ground this entire time while everyone's been talking. He's like, I remember when, I could never forget. I remember when you and I first met. There was a nasty storm. And I thought the rattling at my door was just the wind, but you had called out for help, and I opened it, and I was just so cold to you. But it was almost as somebody had sent you in a time to where I just needed somebody. I expected you to be gone the next day, but you were there in my kitchen, just cooking away, singing. We became friends. You had told me a little bit about you, and for the first time, I was able to tell someone else about how I was feeling. I remember you were helping me with my fence. I could never focus enough to get it, and we heard some cries, little small cries under one of my floorboards, and you disappeared. I was confused. I was like, maybe this is them leaving. But then you came back with a small little sheet bundled up, and just little movements. And I'll never forget your face. Your eyes lit up wide, and you said, "There's 3. Little 3 small en mirage." Then you named them. I need you, buddy. I wasn't able to care before, and I wouldn't have been able to do it now unless you stumbled on my door in that storm. I can't do this without you.
As Bren somewhat meekly takes a step back, I need for each of you to roll those physical d20s for me. I will tell you, I'm not going to tell you what the skill roll is, because I've already worked out the modifiers. I just want to know the number. I will tell you that the higher is better, and you can use your advantages that you have if you want to, and you need to send each of your results to me secretly in Discord. And I'm trusting all of you to be honest.
Okay.
You just want like a picture or something, or
Now just send me the number. I trust you.
I'm gonna send a picture anyway.
Okay. I'll take pictures as well. Just waiting on
Carl,
you.
this
Ian.
is not fun. This is stressful. What are you talking about?
So this Discord part, they're sending me the private things. I'm actually stealing this from some friends of mine over at Tales on Tap. This is how they roll their death saving throws. It's all
It's so
secret.
stressful.
It's all secret, and nobody knows the results except for the people that roll them.
I love that.
That's actually cool.
We can do that too if you guys want. Not sure if that would have made last week better or worse. Although I guess there was only one death saving throw last week, and you kind of knew the results pretty quickly. So, all right. As you are all standing there, staring at this ghostly, translucent form of Sisk, the dragon turns back and forth between each of you and the ghost for several long moments. The ghost begins to turn away and float up to one of the doors. As they float there, there's more of that hesitancy, that confusion within them. It's hard to discern what's going on, and I think particularly for 80 in this moment, being able to see them and not feel them is kind of devastating in a way. Perhaps that the others don't quite understand in the same way. As they're paused there, seemingly trying to decide what to do, they fade into nothingness. Their light fully disappears from the space. Violet, you turn and regard the crystal dragon, and they seem genuinely confused by this as well. And then the power within their eyes diminishes slightly. The magic that they had summoned seems to fade, and this ethereal gateway into some other plane of existence fades from your sight as well.
I will look Bren as tight as I can. If my wings are still out, I'll wrap both my wings around Bren.
Do the rest of you do?
Uh, 80 will grab Mira's hand and stand there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think similarly, Brandis is like, I don't know what's about to happen. He's kind of like holding his breath, waiting for the next thing to happen, I guess.
As 80 squeezes Mira's hand, she turns her head towards Mira, and just out of the corner of her eye, emerging from the space, the hidden gateway to the magical chamber where the dragons had met, you see Sisk stepping out, holding Star in their arms. For what it's worth, Kay, Sisk is currently at 1 hit point and probably feels it.
Yeah. Sisk is gonna try and balance Star and kind of open their arms out to everyone. Hey, why you look so glum? Come here.
I think Mira
Go up and hug her.
bursts into tears.
As
Yeah,
as
let's
80
go,
charges
Brad.
forward to go and hug, Star jumps up and alights and starts flying above and goes over and circles a bit before going over and landing on Bren's shoulder.
Star could really start working as a pillow. I think it'd be a good way to make some extra money on the side. Come here.
You're so fucking stupid. And Violet just starts crying.
Oh, God. If Violet's the first, Siski's gonna take a step back and kind of cradle her little face in their weird long blue fingers, and like it's not your fault. It's never been your fault. I'm so sorry, and I don't ever want to leave you. Okay, I want to stick around. We can learn. I can teach you how to play the lyre. We can have a good time. We'll make music together. Okay.
Okay.
Cisco will give you even a very, very tight hug as well, until Violet is like wants to tap out.
Violet's just sobbing into your shirt.
It's okay. I'm here. Thanks for calling me back. I'm excited to get to know you too, okay?
Okay. Violet will pull away. Look over at Bren.
Yeah, Bryn walks up to Sis, and then like he's looking at them, and then he pinches their arm, like real hard.
Ow.
Okay, good. And then he goes in for a hug.
Yeah. Sis is all up in there. Will jump up even and try to knock Bryn over.
I think it happens. Like I don't think he's like he's not grounded himself in this moment. He just hits the ground.
A little weak in the knees.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
Bryn, thank you for seeing me. You're the first person really who saw me here, and I'm glad I got to see you too. I'm excited to see other things with you too. We're gonna have a good time. Thank you for calling me back.
He's fucking crying, man. Like just wet faced, but he's just like turning his face from everyone else, and he's just like, oh, yeah, man, yeah, bud. Oh, this is just so much right now.
I'll wipe some tears off and some into your beard.
Ooh.
And then who wants?
Hey, what does 80 feel emotion-wise from Sisk?
Can 80 feel? No?
Thank God.
Yes.
Just a overwhelming amount of relief and love, and there's a little bit confused, though. They saw 80 come approach them as well, so they'll leave Bren crying as a mess on the ground, just patting a little bit on the head, and they'll pull 80. And I'm so happy to see you.
Kay, did you get the message I just sent you?
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say, is something wrong?
What?
I heard Violet, and I heard Bren, and I heard Mira. I don't. It's a weird thing to ask if you didn't want me to come back. Now that I am back,
No.
but I just wanted to make sure that we are good.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't say it right. I'm sorry that you didn't
No.
hear me.
I believe you. I don't know what happened. The Ascendants do weird stuff. Or they'll put your hair behind your little ear and be like, okay, it's okay. I know how I feel about you, and I love you, and I care so much for you. I want to gamble with you. I don't know if you were into like the cheating kind of gambling or if you were like above the table, but I'm interested either way. So
I would never cheat. Ever. But we could have a lot of fun.
okay.
I'm very glad that you're back. It would have been awful to lose you.
I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad you're here with me. Mira.
She's gonna go over and just give Sisk a big hug.
I can give you a big hug too. I'm excited to teach you things, but I am excited to learn from you too. You know so much. You've had also a formal education. I have plenty to learn from you. I'm excited to show you new things. I'm excited to be a part of that and to see the woman also that you're gonna become from your experiences. Thanks.
I still owe you one. I meant that. So
Whatever. Give it to 80.
yeah,
She deserves a break sometimes. Come on.
it's true.
Are any of you proficient in religion?
Yes, technically.
Go ahead and roll your proficiency in religion, please.
19.
Oh, right. You have to roll that at disadvantage, don't you?
Yep.
19 is good enough in this instance. This is not the first resurrection that Mira has ever witnessed. She knows that it is a often fraught thing, particularly for the participants in the ritual of resurrection, and very frequently it fails. And she knows somewhere inside of her that if Sisk did not hear 80's plea, it was because 80's plea was not strong enough to get through to Sisk's spirit.
Mira will just give Sisk an extra hug. I have heard that it's not easy to come back, so take care of yourself, okay?
I feel a little bit rough, but I hope you guys will take care of me. Sisk, just internally, 80 would pick this up that like I think they feel some modicum of guilt that 80 reached out and that Sisk couldn't hear it. Sisk was like, it's something that I did. It was something the Ascendants did. And so like they're being especially attentive to 80, especially since it's like they had nothing to respond to. So they're hanging around, they're putting their arm around her, holding hands.
80 feels really bad.
I mean, right now, no one really knows that particular detail that Mira knew in that way. So, Violet, after staggering back away and kind of watching all of this, can feel the dragon next to them. Just kind of walk up very silently. Just kind of walk up beside them. And it's kind of watching all of these exchanges whilst standing next to Violet.
Violet will turn to them and bow.
They bow their head down in return, accepting the with gratitude.
Thank you. I don't know what words could convey how much. I can't even speak. This means a lot. Thank you for doing this.
I felt that it was a good time to repay the debt. If it wasn't for you and your friends, I wouldn't be here.
Regardless, thank you.
Ben Riddell made the call. I knew I needed to answer. And I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that it worked out.
Me too. Is there anything we can do for you?
No. Oh. Being friends reunited is a wonderful experience.
She'll kind of just like turn sideways so then the group could see the dragon.
They step to the side as well and kind of are facing Violet as the two of you kind of regard each other.
I think Brent approaches and kind of mimicking what Violet was doing before, gives a gentle bow and just says thank you.
When you bow, they lower their head as well. The formality of it seems to be important to them.
I'll take a look at the dragon. I have you to thank, I assume.
I played a small part.
Well, I very deeply appreciate it. And Siska's gonna do a very just way too many flourishes. Ow. And then thanks.
They in response to the flourishing, they kind of spread their wings out and lower their head in response. As you stand there and regard them, they look back at Violet. Violet can tell that there is concern in their eyes. 80 can feel the concern in their emotions. They say, the path that we all walk is always fraught with dangers, you know. Never going to be easy. But I think you'll be okay. So does he. He trusts you.
I don't feel worthy of it.
None of us do. That's part of the reason that he does it. You know?
What does he want me to do with it?
I don't know that I can answer that. But do know that he teaches us to persevere on whatever path that we walk. For we will always be tested. Part of having the heart of a dragon.
Try my best to honor it.
All you can do.
Thank you again.
Of course. They bow their head.
Bow her head.
There's a slight pause as they turn and regard each of you for a brief moment. Or starting to turn and leave. Any of you do anything in response? You did, Brent.
I think just like give a gentle regard, like goodbye. I don't think Brent would know really what to do.
Is there a way I could reach out to you again? If we ever need help?
Stop and look back at you. My name is Prismaric. You can find the magical ways to communicate. Be happy to hear from you again.
Me too. Thank you.
Glad I could help. And their eyes fix with stars for a moment. You can hear a faint chuckle kind of emanate in their throat. Then they look up at the treescape above and take flight. On that note, welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much, Little Bones and crew, for coming in and joining us. We have just finished a rather traumatic series of events that may not necessarily be entirely over. We shall see. There you all stand next to this pool of water that is no longer glowing green. You see the bodies of the clergy around you. What would you like to do?
Mira's gonna go over and start looking through their belongings and see if there's anything that they have that she can use.
Bryn would also do the same, more so looking for some of that armor that he noticed on the big dude.
I'm gonna have a sit down.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, in that moment, Bryn's going to turn his head and look at Sisk and be like, how about you take a seat and bust out a healing word? It's 11 points of healing for you.
Big Father's gonna walk to the edge of the pond to just kind of stare into the water a bit and process what happened.
Okay. As Violet is standing there next to it, you can feel this chill run up your spine. This feels like a gateway. Now so more than perhaps before. And now that you know what it is, you dare not touch the water again.
Just sit at the edge of it, stare at it a bit.
Okay. I don't think I heard what 80 was doing. I heard from everyone else.
80 would probably sit with Sisk. She's not feeling great either. And I think she is very focused on everyone else's emotions right now, because having it shut off, even for just a little bit, is fairly devastating for her. So, yeah, I think she's just sort of absorbing the understanding that Sisk is here. I can feel everyone again, and it's maybe going to be okay.
Right. Go ahead and give me investigation checks, Bren and Mira, please.
My passive is 17.
Okay. Do you want to use that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna use an advantage because I want to do well. It's a 16 total.
Okay. So with that, you will notice pretty clearly, Bren, that the armor is on the big guy was half plate armor. Fairly certain that's not armor that Bren can functionally wear.
Was it like medium armor?
It's heavy armor.
Oh, jeez. This is crap. Okay. Dang it. I'm just gonna go to the other bodies to see if there's anything like... Well, before I do that, is there anything else on this dude of note?
Yes. We'll get to the other things of note, but you had indicated that you wanted to know about that armor. And while it does seem special in some way, it's certainly bulky and clunky enough that Bren doesn't feel comfortable that he could wear it.
A quick little scan across the field. Does it seem like there's maybe any armor that would be decent?
So you had downed a total of 4 guys. The one that went down very violently right at the beginning of the fight, that had taken a ball of lightning to the face and had half of his face burned off. He is wearing a like leather armor, but there does not seem to be any particularly like magical quality to it or anything.
Okay. So I'm pretty much SOL on the armor field right now.
I mean, aren't you wearing a studded leather armor?
I am, but
Okay.
like if if there's anything better, hey.
Unfortunately, not with this lot. So, for what it is worth, things that you can attempt to identify later that are obviously magical. There is a magical ring that the gentleman with the staff was wielding that Mira is able to suss out possesses magical qualities. Obviously, the staff also possesses magical qualities. However, it is worth noting, particularly for Mira, who is the one that is most affluent with these sort of things, it bears several marks of the clergy upon it, including a few holy symbols that she does not recognize. Carvings within the wood that are unfamiliar to her. On top of that, there is also magical boots, an amulet, and an array of different potions, several of which are the same, that Mira can fairly easily identify at this moment just from looking at them, possess healing quality, but she's not sure what strength of healing they are. That'll take a little bit more work to identify. And then there are 3 other potions that are of different qualities as well. Oh, and the greatsword was also magical. You know, the one that lit up with fire. Oh my god, Cat, come on. Dude, seriously. Just don't tear off my ear headphones. Sorry. Galahad interruption.
I guess kind of just like if we're all kind of boat scooting around together, I can take a few moments on those other potions and use my gifts to see if I can figure something out about those specifically.
Well, here's the question. Are you all going to be resting here? And is there anything in particular that you wish to do with these bodies? They also did possess various amounts of gold and coin and such that aren't of particular note, since we don't really track wealth in that way. But they did possess some wealth that you add to your coffers.
Oh yeah. I'm going to yell out to the forest. Can you deal with these guys for us?
For us? Please?
I'll plant a tree when I get home.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Sweet.
And I'm going to say it's a disadvantage because of your current
That's what I was
beleaguerment.
Oh, I rolled it in stupid D&D Beyond. Give me a sec. Stupid sexy D&D Beyond. Okay, so 9 plus 6, which is also my expertise, so 15.
Okay. You don't hear anything. There's no obvious answer by the forest to your request.
What happens
Alright,
if we
fine.
throw them in the pond?
I mean, the last ones we killed went in the canal, so It's kind of
Starting to notice a
a
trend.
thing.
Yeah, I
We
think so. I think
tried
that's. They need help with one of the bodies here. I don't think I can do it on my own.
And Brent goes over and to chucks one. Just like, like screw these guys. Put flash.
So all of the bodies are getting chucked into the gateway to some other realm.
Yep.
I mean, we'd like
Okay.
to start with one and see what happens.
You chuck one body in.
10 more come out.
The body kind of floats there for a second, and then, I mean, at this point, rigidity has not set in on these corpses yet, right? They're flexible, but you can see a kind of rigidity that forms in the body as it slowly begins to sink into the pond.
I think Brent just kind of stands there for a little bit, like just waiting for anything. And then once nothing comes, he's like, "All right." Throws the rest in.
As each of the bodies floats for a few moments and then slowly sinks into the pond, 80 starts to hear some movement in the trees around. And there's a familiar growl that starts to emanate from the trees. You are
I think she
reminded
would-
of the very first day that you ever set foot in the Siltwood.
She's gonna whisper shout to her companions, and let them know she's hearing what she's hearing. We've
After
gotta
she
go.
points it out, Bren hears the ever familiar sounds of hunting ambush drakes. However, it's interesting in that they are alerting you to their presence. Normally they don't do that.
Is there a bigger dinosaur following them?
It seems in this moment, Bren, that as far as you can tell, being, druidic and such, that you feel like they're giving you a warning.
We should leave.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
Sisk is unfamiliar with these noises, but would still find them a little bit disconcerting, especially given their current physical state.
I'm leaving a lot of blood. I don't know if these sounds like blood, so. I'm fine now.
Just leaving a lot of blood. Just bleeding. Yeah. I think, do we know how... Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I was wondering if do we go behind the illusion and then rest, or do you think they'll know?
Well, that's actually really... Let's try it. And then it just...
Just what?
I'm running after Bren.
Where are you guys
Wanna
going?
go back into the shimmering hall.
The vague hints and notions. I need to know what you're doing, guys.
We're hoping you'll steer us there.
Yeah, we're gonna try to like stay out of the ambush Drake's way by going into the
Dragon's
Dragon
Enclave?
Hall of Justice. Yeah, the Dragon's Enclave. There we go.
Yes, the ethereal shimmering of the Dragon's Enclave is still there, even though you can only just barely see it until you basically get right up on it. But you already knew it was there, and so you step into it and watch back out from whence you came. And maybe a minute goes by before you see a pack of ambush drakes move into the space and start sniffing around where all of the bodies had fallen. It's at that moment that Bren realizes, oh, the forest did answer.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, ah, crap. He just kind of looks at everybody. I think we jumped the gun on this one a little bit.
Cheated them out of a meal, I see.
Yeah, I feel bad. What? No, I can't do anything. Sorry.
They start rooting around, and they start to get a little agitated. Eventually, they do decide to leave, but there's an obvious irritation in their demeanor.
Just like pats the ground side, or like slightly. Sorry.
So, the question then arises once again, are you resting here? Or are you finding another place to rest?
I can't really afford to get into any more trouble before resting.
Same.
Okay. Well, we'll sit up here.
Okay. You all settle down for, you still have a half a day, so for now, we'll just call it a short rest so that you can decide what you want to do from here. Bren, you had indicated that you wanted to use your psychometric gifts and attempt to identify the potions. Okay. Normally, that kind of thing would only let you identify a potion, but, I'm not a shit GM, so I will let you identify all of the potions that were there. So we'll focus on the healing potions first. There was 5 total healing potions, 3 of which were potions of healing, and 2 of them were potions of greater healing. Don't forget to use the improved versions of these when you plug them into D&D Beyond, so that they're, my potions and not the crap ones that come in the D&D basic book. Why did somebody just roll 3d8?
Sorry, my hit dice. Ignore me.
Oh, gotcha. You don't have to worry about rolling your hit dice. It's fine. And then there is also a potion of mind reading. As well as a potion of gaseous form. And an elixir of health.
have identify as a ritual spell. Could I do a couple in a short rest?
Not if you want to also rest.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll rest.
You did just come back from the dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Have I overextended myself figuring out these potions?
With your psychometry, yeah, you need to
Yeah.
recuperate before you can use that again.
Gotcha. Okay.
What is that? Actually, this is very important because have any of the others seen you do this?
No, only Violet has.
Only Violet?
And that was and that's
So
by
why don't
accident.
we talk a little bit about what this looks like for everyone and our viewers?
So when Bryn uses this type of gift, it makes sense that he would need to rest after this too. It takes a lot out of him. So normally he sits down and he does it. He holds the item in his hands and he stares at it intently for a moment, but then closes his eyes. And you could see it's like light shining behind his eyelids, just like in a brief moment, as if it was a camera flash. And it's like this hint of purple that happens. And when it flashes, that's when, like, the time that he's taking to focus on this item, he realizes what it is. It's not quick, but it's cool to look at. Then normally after that happens, he's very tired.
And in addition to that, when you are doing this, you can also see you get kind of a vision as you're kind of going through these potions where you see someone brewing them, crafting them. You see them being made in your mind by a young acolyte. You think very likely a follower of Orlumus, given the robes that they wear and the place that they're in. They weren't made at Occam. They were made somewhere else. The stylization of the room is a little bit different than the university. And as you sit there and are going through these potions, you can almost feel the faith. The only word that I can effectively equate to you that this person has in what they're doing and why they're doing it and what they believe that these potions are going to be for. Give me an insight check, please.
The 28 total.
So about those digital dice, Ian.
We
Rolling pretty
won't
good
talk
for you
about it.
tonight.
We won't talk about it. We'll just kind of let it do its thing.
You are fairly certain, in fact, that this individual that is brewing these potions didn't know whose pockets they would have ended up in. They believed in what they were doing, and that their motivations were pure for it. And with every potion that they make, they offer a prayer and thanks to the Ascendant for what they can do. –
And he kind of like takes that in, that moment, that vision in, and then just kind of like shifts his eyes over to Mira. He doesn't know if they're looking at her or not, but just kind of looks at them. He's like, okay. So this is this, and he starts giving out the information in reference to what everything is. Mira, 80, if you know this too, but Mira is when you were in school, was there like a class to make these?
I didn't ever take one, so I can't say for sure.
Think you could learn?
Maybe?
Maybe.
I think it's up to Orlumis.
Yeah, it is up to Orlumis. Would you say that like your connection with him has grown stronger? How do you feel about Orlumis?
Well, it's been a couple of weeks since I yelled "Scud off" at the sky, so
Progress.
yeah.
Wow. It might help. So, these were made by somebody who has a very, very strong faith in the Ascendants, and there's just a large level of respect, which I think actually gives its power, worth, strength, whatever it may be. And I don't know, maybe helpful to learn.
I will add it to my to-do list.
If we could put it at the top of the to-do list, that would help out a lot.
Bren.
What? People are dying
Seriously?
out here. We need something. Yes, seriously.
Yeah. She's doing everything.
Not everything, but a lot. But not everything.
A lot.
Okay. Do you have a strong connection with an Ascendant?
No, of course I don't.
Right. She does. This is a gift, a treat that her faith can provide.
I
don't know what we're
wouldn't
gonna
call
get
it
into.
fate.
Don't backpedal now. Looks up in the air. I'm just saying it may help.
I've lost access to the library, so it will be complicated.
I mean, is
But
it any different from baking or cooking?
It's really not. Why would it know?
I mean, I'm good at figuring shit out, but I don't think this counts.
Why wouldn't it? You gotta figure shit out in any form. It's just another thing to figure out.
You'll end up drinking a shot of juice that does nothing for you.
Or we end up
or
drinking a shot of juice.
kills us. Yes, you're right. That's
true.
also a possibility.
No, jeez, you guys. When did you all start being like, come on?
When you went off the
died.
rails,
Mm-hmm. I feel like you all have something to say. Everyone's looking at me like that again.
I'm gonna empty a little bit of water onto my hand from my water skin, and I just start splashing everyone. I'm like, I just got back from the dead. Can we chill? This is not very relaxing. I don't feel very relaxed. So, we can yell "scud off" at the sky or whatever, but can we just chill out? We can fight later. There's always time to fight. And it's nobody's fault. Except for maybe mine. I was out of position. But Okay.
Sorry, sis.
You better be.
I'm just worried. I get where he's coming from. I think it could be something that Mira and I could work on.
Yeah.
If it's too much for Mira to do, I can work on it a bit and share that load.
That would be good.
Yeah. That's good.
So you all finish your rest. Disk, you feel comfortable enough to travel once again. What would you all like to do?
Stumble forward? I don't even know.
Yeah, I would continue the trek to the ship, I guess. Yeah.
Meet up with Phelan. I want to hold as many hands as possible.
I can't wait to sleep.
Come on, we got about a half a day travel. Let's knock this out, and when we get there, we can rest then.
Okay.
As you leave the enclave behind, using the vast majority of the rest of your day, you're still not going to be able to get out of the Siltwood yet, because it was a couple days getting in, right? So, are you headed towards the mountain, or are you headed back to whatever path that you think Phelan was most likely taking from the river?
I can send them a message and see which would be better.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I will pull out the sending stone and say, ran into trouble. We're okay now. Meet at the ship or on the way.
You hear Phelan's voice in your mind. There's almost a sense of relief in their voice. And they say, yeah, we did too. Ren took care of it, though. We're probably 2 days from the mountain. Might be easier to just meet there. The ship. Are you okay?
Can I send it back, or is it a once a day thing? I thought
Well,
it was
what
a
are-
once a day thing.
What are you using?
The sending stone?
That's a once a day thing.
Yeah.
Didn't you also have
They
them
signed
write
your
in
book.
I
book?
did. Fine. I will send a follow-up.
You could also, according to Raven, just send a love moth.
Send more love moths. Why not? I will then write a quick message in the book. We're alive and recovering. Are you okay?
I forget. So this is the one where you write in the book, and then it just like disappears as you write it, and they receive a letter. So you get a written response this time from them that says, just some scrapes and bruises, will be all right. Miss you.
Okay, we are going to meet them at the ship.
Did we peer over her shoulder when she was writing that?
I mean, 80 saw it for sure.
Yeah.
80 was standing like 20 feet away, and her 2010 vision let her see it perfectly clear.
What was Mira feeling when she was writing this love note?
Worry. Because now she wants all of the details about what happened and is worried about them having 2 more days to get up there. So primarily just worry.
Does 80 do anything with that? You asked the question, Beth.
No, I just wanted to know for funsies.
Okay.
Samir, did you tell them I died? It's pretty important to know.
I figured I would save that for when we see them again because I didn't want to worry them.
That's a good point.
You're doing
Okay.
that thing
What?
with your voice. The thing with your voice, like anytime you talk
I'm
about
not doing a
them.
thing.
You were. You do this, you're like, I told them the thing about... You're nervous.
I'm not I'm worried about everyone getting to the ship unscathed.
80?
Everybody?
Look, are you asking me to be the lie detector right now?
Yes.
No, I'm not doing that, but good try.
80? Okay.
How's my aunt doing? How's Ariana doing?
I didn't get a comprehensive summary, okay? I just wanted to know if we were going to meet them on the way or at the ship. That is all that I was told to get information on.
Okay. I was just asking.
I'm
I didn't see what you wrote.
sure they're fine. They also ran into some trouble. Phelan said some scrapes and bruises, but they didn't say that anyone was dead. So they did say that Ren took care of most of the danger. So I think leaving her there was a good idea.
That's good. Could you imagine if Phelan died and he didn't tell you? That'd be crazy.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
It wouldn't work though, right? If that happened. Like your note, your love
But
notes.
it's brought back. That's
I
a
don't know
really
if we
good
can do
question.
Do we really want to sit there and tell Phelan how much we care about them again? To bring them back? He's 100% ribbing at Mira.
She's just staring him down.
Sorry. He turns into a bear and he starts walking off.
As you all find a spot to settle in for the evening, and Mira also do identify as a ritual?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So between Mira and Sisk, you have 4 things that you could potentially identify before you settle down for your long rest. Who's identifying what?
I think Mira would work on the ring and the amulet.
I was thinking staff and boots.
Okay. And that means I was wrong, actually. There are 6 things. Then. So each of you want to take one more thing?
It's a great sword.
And the staff. Well, sorry. Yeah, ring, amulet, staff, greatsword, boots, cloak.
Oh, cloak too.
Mm-hmm.
I will also take the cloak then.
All right, I'm just making sure I can got each of these things here. Yes. So we'll start with you, Sisk. What were the 3 things that you were identifying?
I was going to do the staff, boots, and the sword.
Oh, you're doing the staff? Okay. Then we'll do Mira's items first. So Mira goes for the ring. She discovers that it is a ring of free action. The amulet, right? That was another one that you were doing. Is an amulet of proof against detection and location. And then the cloak is a cloak of protection. And then for Sisk, you've got the boots, which are boots of the Winterland. The sword is a flame-tongue sword, flame-tongue greatsword, which I think was pretty obvious to everyone. And so then you settle down for identifying the staff, and I need for you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay, am I still messed up?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Don't you fucking dare.
So the lowest one I got is a 2. I will use one of my advantages if I may.
Sure.
Can I? So I roll again? Is that?
Yep.
Oh, that's a nat 20, but I'm taking the disadvantage.
No.
Oh, no,
The nat 20, if you use the advantage, it ends up just being whatever that roll is. So the nat 20 is great for you in this particular instance. I would say, why don't the two of you kind of describe this process of what you two are going through with these rituals? Because I imagine that it's kind of you two kind of working together to do them to a degree. So why don't you two describe what this looks like for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Mira makes it like she goes full ritual, and so she puts the Heart of Orlumis in the center and then kind of sets the items around it. And then just kind of she and Sisk trade back and forth, kind of touching each of the items and picking them up and passing them back and forth and kind of studying them intently. And
you also, Mira also has to have her book there as well and keeps referencing things in the book and such. What does the arcane practice look like for Sisk? How does it differ from Mira's?
Well, I imagine with Sisk, it's a lot more loose. So if you imagine that Mira is baking, Sisk is cooking. Sisk is just fucking throwing shit everywhere. When they pick up, I'm not the greatsword. That's probably a little too big. When they take up the boots,
Boots.
they're like shaking it by their ear. They're doing like some weird stuff that like, and nothing really seems cohesive. They've definitely taken all sorts of different customs and traditions from wherever they've been, and they're all sort of been mashed together. So that kind of the cohesiveness is that everything is so bizarre and different and just kind of all over the place.
Cool.
I don't know if Mira is very stickler for things being
Being a certain way.
Yeah. Sisk might tone it down if they get a disapproving look.
I think she's a little like, that's unorthodox, but hey, if it works, whatever.
So yeah, you guys go through all of this. You definitely save the staff for last because it's obviously the most powerful and intricate of all of the items. And so, you go through all of these things. There's a little bit of surprise and, elements of wonder between the two of you as you figure out what each of the items does, and perhaps even more so from the others as you might, tell them about the items as you're going through all of this. And then Sisk picks up the staff and they start running their hands over some of the runes that are carved into the staff and trying to like evaluate them and such. And there's a point at which Sisk is like leaning over the staff and looking at one particular rune that has caught their attention, trying to figure out what it means. And in that moment, all of the rest of you see this magical rune on the staff light up and glow with almost a wavering red and black hue. And there is an immediate sense surrounding all of you in this space of oppressiveness, pushing down. A great weight has started to push down upon this space and each of you. And Sisk looks up, sees Mira across from them, and Sisk's eyes are glowing, one red and one black. And they open their mouth, and from their mouth you hear an otherworldly voice say, "What have you done?" And that's where we're going to call it tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
What is wrong with you?
No, that's not.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I'm so glad that we got to end at that exact spot. It makes me happy.